Welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn how to model a 3D Fusion model using 2D sketches. You're going to create some holes in a wallet, and what the goal is, we're going to end up cutting this wallet out of aluminum on our CNC mini mill. And first thing you need to do is you need to create a model. And in order to do that, there's some things you need to be aware of. Is when you're designing your model. Some key details include: 1, location of the holes. The hole size isn't that critical because we're going to G&M code out the holes, but we could do a CAM operation on those. But the location of the center point of the holes is super critical. I'm going to throw on some sketches I've made to help identify where the center points of the holes are. I could even turn off, I could suppress these features and not only the threads but also all the holes, and right click and suppress all these. And when you suppress these features, you're going to see that you have these center points. These center points, these holes are really critical. I know from this corner it's 0.15 over on X and 0.15 up to this one. This one's 0.15 over and 2 inches up. So all of our distances up are 0.15 inches, 2 inches. Going over to inspect this, you can just go to the inspection tool, click on an edge or a face, and it says selection 1 has been made, and you now select selection 2. For distances X over 3.825, it's really critical. That is a critical dimension. Up is 0.15. and all the way up is 2. So I clear that out and select 2 features, this edge and this. You're going to see it. If I zoom in, it's kind of tough to see what is 0.15 is what I'm saying, inches up. Our next critical dimension on this feature is the inside. So from this, you could even select this whole face here, and we'll rotate around, and this whole face. This is 3.375. An actual credit card or debit card or ID card is 3.370. I made it 1/1000ths larger. Okay, so it's 3.375. So the actual credit card is 3.370. So I just made it a little bit bigger. You can go up here to restart selection, and you can select this plane or edge. Try and get the plane. And I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to select this plane. And this is also really critical. The overall credit card size, I believe, is 2.3170. I made it 5/10,000ths larger, or maybe 2.5 thousandths larger. I can't exactly remember the width of it. That also is another critical dimension. The last critical dimension I want to show you guys here is this radius. This radius must be 0.138. Anything bigger or smaller will result in bad parts if you're going to do a 2-part feature. So I'm going to close out of this. I'm going to unsuppress these features I had suppressed and unsuppress. Right click, unsuppress, unsuppress. And I believe the rest of these are all unsuppressed. So you can see we have threaded holes with a countersink, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just show you 2 more features that I think are critical. This face to this face. I think if you're going to hold uniformity, if you make the overall part 3.975 and reselect from this top face down to the bottom, and the overall length 2.625 at a maximum 2.625. In overall length, I think you're going to end up with you're going to be really happy with the product you end up with for these overall sizes. That gives you enough wall space in here for the tapped holes, drilled in tapped holes, and your wall is going to look exceptionally nice. I'm going to close out of this, and those are my recommended views for you to start off with. When you start a new sketch, it's really critical. Come up here, you're going to go File, New Design. And from the New Design, you're going to come up here to Sketch. And we're going to go over here to Origin. Oops. If you accidentally hit something on the screen, it just randomly put me on into some coordinate that I don't know what the coordinate was. So I'm going to hit stop sketch, and I'm going to hit Control Z. I want to go back. I'm going to hit Control Z again. And now notice my browser history is off. I'm going to go back to the 3D mode. I'm going to click on sketch. I was trying to drop the origin down so I can select X, Y. It's this plane we need to select. So start with this plane, start with a sketch, start with a rectangle, 2-point rectangle, and you're going to make it those sizes. So I'm going to go 2.65. I believe it was 3.975. So I just hit tab, and you can joggle between the two, and it's a 2-point rectangle. So you have to click once here and then once out here. Click twice, and you have your dimensions. If you're not happy with your dimensions, you can always go back in and change them. So let's just take a look real quick at my previous file right over here, and my overall length should have been, but my overall height should have been 2.625, and my overall length should have been this point to this edge 3.975. So let's come back over here. So it's 2.625. I don't think that last 2.5 1,000ths will make a huge difference, but I'll update it anyway. Pretty happy with that. I'm going to hit stop sketch. Now I'm going to go up here to create and extrude, or you just select extrude key or select just E on the keyboard. Extrude, and I like to flip it into this orientation so I can see which way I'm going. I like to extrude downward because this is my origin. This is my origin right here. This is my WCS XYZ0. If I flip it up this way, my origin now will be in the bottom of the part. I don't want it in the bottom of the part. I want it at the top of the part. So I'm going to extrude it downward to a negative number, and I'm just going to go negative 0.34, maybe 0.35, something like that. 350 thousandths. That's going to be a pretty wide wallet. At 350 thousandths, that's going to be enough for 8 to 10 credit cards. If you're only, or ID cards. If you want to go about 6 or 7 ID cards, you're going to go negative 0.30. If you want to go less than that, you always go down to a minimum of a 1/4 inch. That will only hold 1 or 2 cards, maybe 3. So this negative 0.30 should be pretty solid, pretty good number to start with. Hit OK. From here, we're now ready to create an extrusion downward. Again, a simple rectangle. I'm going to create a new sketch on this plane. If you notice, my XYZ0 is right there. That's really critical for setting up on the CNC mill. I'm not going to choose stop sketch. I'm going to come over here and go back to my rectangle tool. And even before I do the rectangle tool, I know I want a little line to start me off. You either do a line or you can do a point. I want to make this line 0.3 over. So if you just make a line, I'll show you another way to dimension it. You can come up, click on the sketch tool, come down to dimension, select that line, and now you can type in 0.30. I'm move my mouse so you can see what I did. Type in 0.30, you can hit OK. It's really critical that that's 0.300. Because when we make this rectangle here, 2-point rectangle, that all the way around, I want this to be uniformly 0.30. So I'm just going off of my memory from before. I think this is 2.375. It could have been a little bit less. And then this was 3.3875. We're going to need to take a look at those numbers, and I'm going to hit enter. I'm not exactly sure if those are the correct dimensions. So we're going to come back over here to inspect. We're going to select this edge, and 3.375 is that length. So 3.375. So edit it, come back over here, select these two instances. I'm not happy with that selection. So I'm going to go here to flip it. Oh, this plane and that plane. 2.3175. 2.3175. Now when you hit enter and stop sketch, or if you can just go back up here to sketch and dimension, or if you hit the letter D on the keyboard, all of these should be about 0.3 all the way around. If they're not, if you want to make this exactly 0.3 so all your walls are the same, if you notice I have these parentheses around them, I want to make this 0.035 bigger on this length here. So one thing you could do is you just add 0.035. This isn't a critical dimension. This is not going to affect your overall product in the end, and you can leave it the number we had it before. But if you want uniform walls, this is how these are the numbers you're going to want to work with: 2.3525, and that will allow the credit card to kind of sit right about here all the way across, about 35 thousandths, which is a 32nd of an inch. Either way, whatever you do, you go ahead and select OK now. Now we still don't have these. We still have to extrude this down. So I'm going to go over here to create, extrude. Let's select this area here, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down only 0.2 of an inch, negative 0.2. Select OK. Now I have an area for my credit cards, debit card, and ID cards. Now over here in create, under modify, we have all sorts of different features. I'm going to modify and do a fillet, and I want to do an inside fillet on both of these corners, and both of these corners will be 0.138. Rotate it around, and for whatever reason it's not allowing me to double select because I typed in 1.138. So I'm going to come back over here, modify, fillet, choose that corner, radius 0.138. Select OK. Now I have a uniform area down here for all of my features. Now I want to make something. You can do whatever type of design you want on this back edge. To go ahead, sketch, put a sketch here, and go ahead and put some sort of whatever type of design you want, so your thumb could push out your credit cards. So if you want to do angles, you can do some sort of angle features. You're obviously going to want to Control Z. You're obviously going to want to find the middle point, so you can start with the middle point, a line going up, and you're going to click. All these features are double clicks, so maybe go to 0.375, over 3/8 over, click again, just 2 clicks. I want a 135 degree angle, click again, come back. Now I have some sort of profile here. I can mirror this profile under sketch and mirror. And it's like, as you can select the objects in the mirror line. So the objects I want to select are only selected 2 for some reason. So see if I can get all 3. If you need to deselect something, you can do that. The mirror line is right here. Select OK. Now you can come up here to trim, and we can trim that out. Now we have, you don't need to trim, but you can. If you decide not to trim, I saw a little error came up, you can still hit stop sketch. Go over here, create extrude, choose these 2, go down negative 0.2. We don't want to do a new body. It automatically should have you do cut and hit OK. Now you have this kind of little pocketed area here that, it didn't go all the way down to my 135 degree angle. So that's not good. So you can always come over here, your sketches, edit that sketch, and move these points a little further down. And it should automatically adjust that one. And I'm going to hit stop sketch. Now it clears it all out. So now I have an area to kind of push these credit cards out with my thumb. I'm not a big fan of these points. I feel like there'd be something where I continually cut my thumb on. If I was pushing these out, I would 100% right away modify these with some sort of radius tool or some sort of radius chamfer or fillet right here on these 2 corners. And I don't know how big you can make it. You can go like 0.125 and just round them out, because you're gonna get your thumb caught all the time on that. You don't want to cut yourself or hurt yourself. So instead of an 1/8 inch radius, if you so desire, definitely have some sort of radius on it, so it's just not a sharp edge.